My name is Ondrej, and in this video I'll show you how to build AI agents with the new Llama 3.1 model, including the biggest 405 billion version. You can do this even if you have a bad computer and even if you know nothing about programming. And at the end I'll show you how to run the Llama 3.1 models locally so you don't have to pay for any API providers or share your private data with anybody. Now the reason why Llama 3.1 is such a big deal is that it's the first time when an open source model is just as good as all the closed source models. The future is happening right in front of our eyes. If you aren't doing anything about it, if you aren't building AI agents, you're falling behind. So I urge you to take the first step and make something. To make this as easy as possible for you, I've designed an entire workshop that will teach you step by step how to build your first AI agent, which is now available inside of my community. If that sounds interesting, make sure to join now. The link is in the description. To build our AI agents, we'll be using Grok. If you've never used Grok, it's basically a free AI tool that gives you super fast inference. And check this out. Insane speed, 1233 tokens per second, way faster than ChatGPT. Unfortunately, Grok does not offer a 405 billion version just yet, but what does offer 405 billion is Perplexity. So if you have Perplexity Pro, you can go into the settings, AI model, and you can select Llama 3.1 405B. And actually, we're going to be using it to help us build the agents. You don't even have to be a programmer nowadays. You can just use the AI tools to write the code for you. First off, go to this domain, collab.research.google.com, and create a new notebook. This is a free tool from Google that lets you run Python without having to install anything. So how do we get started, right? The secret is to use documentation. Documentation is your friend. So when we're in Grok, at the bottom you can see Grok for developers. Click on that and this will bring you to the playground. And on the left we can see documentation. There is everything you need to know about how to run the models. You don't have to remember any of it, just use the documentation. Okay, so let's follow the steps, right? First, we need to create an API key. Super simple. The best part about Grok is that it's completely free. Push through the friction and start building the agents now because this is the best time to get into AI agents. All right, so let's create a new API key. Let's name it subscribe. If you're watching this, please subscribe. And let's copy this, okay? Let's go back to our Google Colab and then I'm gonna add it as a comment. The only two things you have to understand about Colab is code cells and text cells. So what I did, I added a new code cell. So click on that. Beautiful. So we created the API key as they told us. Let's go back to the documentation and see what's the next step, okay? We don't have to do this actually because we're using Google Colab. So click on Python and then we have to do pip install Grok. Now, say you don't know anything, right? What you have to do is simply take a screenshot and I'm gonna paste it into Perplexity. Help me implement this in Google Colab. This is the beauty. You can use the AI models to do the programming for you. You don't have to know how to use Google Colab. You don't have to know how to use any of the APIs. Just pull up the documentation, feed it into an AI model, and have it do the coding for you. So all I'm going to do is click on this copy button and go back to Colab and simply paste this and run this line of code. By the way, you have to make sure that you see this green check mark next to each of your code cells. That way you know it executed successfully. Beautiful. In 6 seconds, we installed Grok. So now we can work with it. Let's go back to the API and see what the next step is. So we need to import Grok. Let's do that. And I'm just splitting this into individual code cells so that it's more organized and easier for you to see. Now we have to create the client, right? So let's copy this part of code. And here we set the API key. But since we are not going to use environment variable, which by the way, you probably should, but I'm just making it as simple as possible for you. I'm just going to set it directly, right? So remember above, this is our API key for Grok. Let's copy this and put it right here. Paste this and then run this cell. Now, this is the part where we actually call the API to get the chat completion. So let's copy this part and just make sure that this matches up with this. If you try to rename it, for example, if you do like Grok client, right? You have to rename everything, all the references of that variable. And you also have to rerun the cells anytime you change something. So let's run this and we should hopefully, fingers crossed, see the AI completion, which means that we're successfully communicating with the Grok API. Now in this case, we're using this model, the Llama 3.8 billion, which is the old one. And let's be honest, we don't want to use the old model, we want the new model. So how do we do this? Well, fortunately, everything is given to us in the documentation. So let's go back and simply we have to click on models. And as you can see, we have all the supported models that Grok offers. There is quite a bit actually. So right now we're using this one, I think. We want to use the 3.1 new models, right? So we have the 405B and then the 70B. So let's create variables for these. I'm just going to do it above, create a new coding cell above this one, and I'm going to do llama 70b equals, and then we have to pass the exact API name that Grok gives us in the documentation. I'm going to copy this exactly, paste it in here, and then I'm going to create a second variable for the 405, right? So llama 405b Grok naming. So execute a cell, and now we can remove this one because we don't want the 8b, and we can just call in the variable directly. So let's copy this, and boom. And now we're going to be using the Llama 3.1 70b model, which is the second best open source model in the world right now. And as you can see, we got the response. But when we try to run the 405b, you'll see something curious happens. And I think this is because it literally released a few days ago. We get an error. And to be honest, as you can see, the model does not exist, or you don't have access to it. I just think Grok is probably still working on implementing it because it's so new. So there is a high chance that when you watch this, you can use the 405b. But in a second, I'll show you how to actually use the 405b right now, even when Grok doesn't have it implemented. So let's just switch back to 70b, that way it works. Again, if you're confused at any step, what you should absolutely do is take a screenshot, go into Perplexity, and you can just say Control V, paste it in, and explain what this code does. So many of you are still not using the AI tools to their fullest potential, which is a massive mistake. You can build anything just by using AI tools. All you have to do is have an idea and be willing to go through some discomfort, push through some friction to actually build it. Because you don't have to do any of the coding. Like, oh yeah, if you're trying to do something super advanced, some very complicated project, then yeah, AI models cannot do everything for you. But for simple and medium difficulty applications, AI models can do all the coding, absolutely. So as you can see, it explains exactly what the code does. So even if you didn't understand it, or if something is confusing, take a screenshot, paste it into ChatGPT, Perplexity, doesn't matter, and have it explain it to you. Okay, so now that we're getting Grok completions, let me show you how to actually get the 405 billion model. So to do that, we have to go to llamas, or we don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you. This is the official llama.meta.com article, which tells you all the stuff about the new model, right? Everything you need to know, possibly the differences, how to download the models, key capabilities, making Llama your own, how to fine-tune it, which, by the way, that video is coming soon. A lot of you want to know how to fine-tune the Llama 3.1 model, especially the biggest 405 billion version. Stay tuned, because that video is coming soon. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Okay, now here is a quick start with the partners. You can see everybody who's running this model, all the cloud providers, right? We can see that Grok is in here, real-time inference. But what we need to do is scroll even further and see the pricing, right here, model pricing. So this is where, if you're deciding where to run it, because, running it locally, the 405 billion version, it's kind of challenging. At the end, I'll show you how to run the 8 billion version and 7 billion version locally, because those you actually can run on consumer hardware. 405B, you need to have like multiple GPUs and some pretty solid setup. Anyways, this is where we can run the 405B. You can choose any of these, to be honest, but I'm going to be using together.ai. So let's click on this. And this is very simple because they give you $5 of API credits for free. So again, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to even enter your credit card. You can just use together.ai to run 405 billion version. So what we should do is click on products and then inference, and simply click on start building now. And this will urge you to log in. Again, you can just log in with your Google. Takes 10 seconds. Okay, I already logged in, so we can see this. And on the right, this is the playground. On the right, we have the version of the model. So naturally, we want the 405 billion version, okay? So let's click on that. And then we can send it a test message like, who are you? Say something simple, right? I'm an artificial model known as Llama. Okay, so it is responding. Beautiful. But right here, you can click on API. And again, you don't have to know how to integrate the APIs because all of them tell you how to do it. So when I click on API, boom, Python, and I have all of this stuff laid out for me. Literally couldn't be any simpler. So let me just copy this from together, import together, and I'm going to create a new code cell right here. And when I do this, we're going to get an error. And say you don't know anything, like, oh my God, no module name together. Some of you probably are picking on, like, what is the issue? But let's assume I don't know anything, and I did this on purpose, by the way. Just take a screenshot and go back to Perplexity or whatever and say, why am I... Okay, tell me how to fix this error. And see if Perplexity can figure this out, right? So it's analyzing the image. To fix this error, you need to install the together package. Pip install together. Boom. So we simply run pip install together, just as we did pip install... wrong collab. Just as we did pip install grok earlier. So let's go above this code cell and do a new code cell, and we have to install the together package. By the way, a quick tip: if you don't want all the stuff, all the text coming from it, you can do -q, which makes it quiet. It makes the installation quiet, so it doesn't fill up the entire Google Colab with nonsense. And then you can actually rerun this code cell as well, which will execute successfully. Beautiful. So we install together, and then we imported together AI. Let's follow their instructions, right? The next, we have to set up a client. So let's copy this line of code. You might be noticing patterns with grok. It's literally the same thing. I'm gonna rename it to together client because we're using multiple API providers. So I just want to have it organized, that way there is no chaos. And as you can see, it's the same exact thing. They want to set it as an environment variable. I'm just gonna set it directly as a string to make it super easy for you guys. So we need to get the API key. If we don't have the API key, guess what? We should see it somewhere here. Let's see, settings. And by the way, this is in real time, so you can see me figure this out. And beautiful, on the left, we see API keys. So click on that, and you can do regenerate API key. Boom. And this is a new one. So let's copy that. So copy this button, API key copied. Let's go back and set it directly. So as you can see, this is like, I'm not familiar with Together AI, and I was able to figure it out in 3 seconds by going to the settings and finding where the API keys are. So let's go back to the playgrounds chat. Now, unfortunately, this reset. So let's again select 405 billion. And oh, actually, this is good because we can set the parameters, right? So output length, let's do like 1000. Why not? Temperature, we want to do, whoa, up to 2. No, let's do low. 0.1 is good. Top PU, let's do like 1 here. And you don't have to understand these 3, but basically temperature is how random the model is. So I want it to be pretty consistent here. And output length is how many tokens it should output. So this is like plenty. We can even lower it to like 700, I guess. And this is actually updates it in real time in the API. So as you can see right here, we see all of this stuff. So when we send a message in UI, let's say, teach me the basics of machine learning, answer in short. Okay, it's responding. And as you can see, it's slower than grok because this is the 405 billion model. So as you can see, this is 60 tokens per second. Earlier, we had like 1000 tokens per second, which is just insane. So there is always a trade-off. When you use the smaller models, you get faster responses and they're cheaper to run. But they're not as smart as the large models, which obviously are more expensive and slower. Okay, let's go back to the API. And now, as you can see, we have updated this part, the response part, okay? So, by the way, we set the API key, so let's just continue with what they're telling us. Let me close this part. You can close this as well. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this long part of code. And again, I'm not even attempting to remember all the API syntax. I'm just copying what they tell me. This is the beauty of documentation. It is literally your friend. Let's go back, paste it, and this long part is just the response, right? This is the response from the assistant. So we don't need this. We can delete this part because we want the assistant to respond from a new. Now, actually, what we can do is we can set a system prompt. So as you can see, this is the user prompt. Actually, let me undo this. So this is user. This is the prompt you normally send, right? As you can see, this was my prompt in Together when I asked it something. And this is assistant, which means response of the model. But there's also a system prompt. So let me show you how to do that. You can do role system. So we copy this. It's the same syntax. So I'm just going to copy this part, do a comma, paste it below, and then we change here to system. And this is our system prompt right now. So here you can say you are a helpful assistant, always answer in short, use bullet points, whatever. Whatever you want your system prompt to be, just set it in here. And now when we run this, fingers crossed, we should get the 405 billion model responding. And we don't. Let's see. Got an unexpected keyword argument top K. Why is this unexpected? Okay, let's comment this out. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going on here. We're getting some errors. Role system. Did I set the system prompt wrong? Role system content. Completions. Oh, yeah, basic mistake. Very basic mistake. Look at this. Together client. I renamed the client and then I didn't use the new name. That's embarrassing, but hey, at least you shows you that you can make errors easily. So we have to make sure that we use the same name of the client. So let's run these two cells and now it should work. It does not work. Why not? Generator object has no choices. Did I copy it correctly from here? Choices 0 message content. Seems like I did. Seems like I did. Or wait, did we update the API key? Maybe I'm using the wrong API key actually. Settings. API keys. No, this is the correct one, right? Yeah, this is the correct one. Let's try to debug this in real time. By the way, the Google Colab has one interesting button, explain error. You can use actually Gemini, which is Google's AI model, to explain the error you're getting. So let's see if this solves it. And again, a response stream true parameter. Okay, maybe we cannot stream it. So let's try to comment this out. And let's see if this works. And it works. Okay, so apparently we cannot stream the response, which means seeing the tokens flow, step by step. We just need to wait until the entire message is generated. So thank you, Gemini, for helping me solve this. And again, don't get stuck. Just use AI tools to solve errors and keep pushing forward. Like, you really should have to see yourself as the CEO or the manager with AI agents and AI tools working for you. You just have to direct them. So again, I think this is useful, seeing that I get errors and how I solve them in real time using AI tools. Okay, so we are using 405B. We're getting successfully responses from 405B. Just one thing you have to know is that it's significantly more expensive than 70 billion. Now, Together AI gives us free $5, right, in terms of API credit. So if I go into settings and then billing, as you can see, I still have $4.98 free. So I didn't even upgrade to the paid account, which is great. So far, everything we're using is literally free. So anybody can do this. But let's go back. And what I want to show you is the pricing. So click on models. And you can see that 70 billion is less than $1 for 1 million tokens. But 405 billion is $5 for 1 million tokens. So obviously, when you're trying to use the biggest model, it's going to be a lot more expensive than the cheaper models. So with Together AI, you can only generate 1 million tokens only. Obviously, that's still plenty to test it out and use it for yourself. Okay, so now that we're successfully using the 405 billion model, we actually, let's implement some agents. Like, let's build this into agents, right? Because right now, they don't have much agentic ability. We're just getting a response, and then we're getting a response again. It's not integrated into any teams of agents. There is no one flow. There is no one goal, which is what they're going to do now. So what I want to build is I want to build a simple cold email writer. So say you want to start a new business, say you want to make money with AI. The first step is getting clients, obviously. Cold emails and sending personalized looms is one of the best ways if you don't have a large audience, if you don't have money to run Facebook ads, right? You have to do cold outreach. So we're going to build a cold email agent that's going to do research, market research on our company, on the industry that we want to target, and then write a personalized cold email for us. So let's do that right now. So what I want to do is I want to use the Llama 405 billion, the smartest model, to make the decisions. And then we're going to use actually Perplexity to get the real-time information from the web. So obviously, if you're using just an LLM, like for example here, we're using just the 405B, it doesn't have access to the internet. So to make your agents a lot more powerful, to unlock so many different capabilities, you want to give them real-time web access. That should be one of the tools that they have, right? And Perplexity actually offers a really good API for this, which by the way, you also get $5 of credits when you have the pro version. Perplexity is really a great deal, to be honest. So yeah, you get the $5 here, and then you get your API key right here. So again, we can just go to the docs right here. You don't have to remember any of this. Just use what they tell you. Click on get started, how to get the API key, blah, blah, blah. And this is the code. This is all you need. So scroll down, create a new code cell, and let's get user input. First, we have to install OpenAI. Boom. Let's follow exactly what they tell us. Client, copy the client. I'm just going to enter and split it onto separate lines. So your API key right here, and we need to get our Perplexity API key, which again, go into the settings if you have Perplexity Pro, and then click on API and copy your API key right here. Let's set a string. It has to be a string, and then inside of the string, let's run it. And we're getting the client. Oh, I made a mistake. Accidentally deleted the second quotation mark. OpenAI is not defined. Oops, you have to, from OpenAI, it's always better to just use the documentation. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this to OpenAI client because we're using multiple APIs just to have it organized. Just a quick tip, writing is if you don't want it to search the web, which is what we've been doing so far. If you click on all, it will search the web. I'm just going to say, find me the latest, or find me the official OpenAI documentation. Let's just use Perplexity, why not, right? And it's going to give us the link to the OpenAI docs. Boom, let's click it. When we click on docs right here on top of right docs, we can see the developer quick start. And since, you know, Perplexity told us in the docs, let's actually go back to the docs right here. It told us that it's using the OpenAI client compatible. So let's go to OpenAI since we're using the same syntax, and let's use their way of doing it, right? So this is much simpler. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply do messages and then set this, replace this with the stuff I copied from OpenAI's documentation. And again, same mistake as earlier, I renamed the client. We have to rename the client. And boom, we're getting a response. The only problem is that we're streaming the entire response. I mean, we don't need to have it streamed. That's the thing. I'm just trying to be fancy. So maybe we should stop being fancy and just use the completion without streaming. And now it's generating. Okay, beautiful. As you can see, this model is online. So we can ask it about the latest news, right? For now, we know that we have successful Perplexity integration and we have 405 billion. So let's use this together, right? Actually, why not? Let me show you how to use Claude. You know, I've showed you already multiple different AI tools. Let's describe the project right now, okay? Or I'm going to show you a little hack. You can do file, you can do download, and download it either as a notebook, Jupyter notebook, or a Python file. So I'm going to do a Jupyter notebook, and then I'm going to simply drag it into Claude, give it access. Basically, it sees my Google Colab, you know, I exported it. It will see all of the cells. I'm going to say, start by transcribing all of the cells in the attached file, Google Colab. Do not add any text, simply transcribe the cells into separate code blocks. Boom, let's send this. And it will analyze the file, and as you can see, it's, yeah, I was worried about a second that I forgot that our first cell is literally about the code. So yeah, right now it's transcribing our entire project, and this means it will have exact knowledge of what we're doing. Beautiful. So now when I'm trying to reference it, it will not hallucinate as before, because before I didn't give Llama 3 my file, which was probably a mistake on my part. As you can see, like most of these mistakes, like every single error we've ran into was error on my end, not on the AI side. So when something isn't working, you are probably the one to blame. Stop blaming the AI. See if you can write a better prompt or if you made a mistake yourself somewhere. Okay, now that it has the knowledge, let's describe our, actually, I don't want to rewrite it. I'm just going to use my previous prompt. I'm going to use my previous prompt right here. Let me copy this. Great. Now that you have complete knowledge of what my code looks like, then I'm going to paste this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I'm going to correct my mistake before when I tried to ask it to do everything at once, and I'm just gonna tell it to do one thing, right? So, step 1, create a detailed, create an outline of all the required steps we have to do before we have an MVP of this team of agents. Step 2, give me step-by-step instructions for only the next step. Just choose one, choose one thing we should do, and let's focus exclusively on that. You don't have to correct typos, and I'm gonna do follow these steps in order. And let's send this prompt. Hopefully we get a better response, because last time I tried to tell it to do everything at once, and that was a mistake. By the way, this is probably going to be too advanced, right? Error handling, we don't have to do that at all. Why would we install a new notebook? Okay, let me adjust my prompt, right? Let's work with this Google Colab notebook. No need to start a new one. Let's build on top of what we already have. See the code cells transcribed above. This is a good thing that you can edit prompts, because you see that, you know, the AI is responding in an incorrect way. You can just edit it and simplify it, right? And adjust it in real time. Anyways, let's see. Focus on single step, create a function to get user input. I don't know why it's doing these. Okay. Let me call it out, right? Stop trying to be perfectionistic. This is just a simple demo. No need to implement error handling and stuff like that. Obviously, if you were doing it in production, you would. But right here, I just want to make it simple. The goal is to build a simple cold email writer team of agents that works. Remove all the non-necessary steps and let's focus solely on the fundamentals. It's trying to be advanced, it's trying to fix everything at the same time. So yeah, let's use this. Generate, okay, wait, what? Generating an agent to generate search query, okay. So it's using Perplexity to do this. It does not need to use Perplexity. Okay, let me remind us of this code. I'm gonna copy this code, boom. We will not use Perplexity. This is what I mean by being manager. You cannot let the model throw you around. You have to be in charge. We will not use Perplexity to generate the search queries. That will be done by the 405B model, which is this piece of code. We will only use Perplexity API later to actually do the market research part and browse the web. Step 1, update the outline based on what I just said. Step 2, give me instructions for what I should do next. You have to really be careful because the models can point you in the wrong direction. You have to have a vision of what you want to build, and then again, you cannot go from a manager to the intern. You have to stay the manager and like hold the frame, hold the vision, and be in charge of the project, right? So let's see. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. Step 2, let's focus on creating an agent to generate search queries, right? So this is going to be, okay, so what it basically did is basically it wrapped it into a function. And again, you don't have to understand what this is because the AI is doing the coding, but I'm just explaining it, right? So response, choices, blah, 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 content split. Okay, generate each. Yeah, let's just copy this. I'm going to even try. Let's copy this. Let's go at the bottom, generate a new code cell, paste it inside. What it did is, I guess it tried to separate it, right? Separate it on new lines. Your AI assistant generates market research, creates 3 specific search queries. Okay. For researching target. All right, so this is should be interesting. We can actually rename this to we can rename this to agent 1 target. This is going to be the target, which is the user input, right? So we have this right here. So get user input. We have to call this. Yeah, we have to call this and then save that. Basically. So let's test it out. Let's test out if this works. Let's do agent 01 and then get user input. Let's see if this works. Boom. Let's change it up. Let's do digital artists in LA. Whatever. And boom, it did work. Wow, that was actually fast. Top digital artists in Los Angeles. Digital artist studios in LA hiring freelance artists. Los Angeles digital art market trends and statistics. Not too bad, not too bad. So our first agent works, which generates the free queries based on our user input. So the next step is, I guess, to ask Claude what the next step is. Okay, this works. What is the next step? All right, let's see what Claude tells us to do next. And by the way, doesn't matter what chatbot you're using. You can use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Meta AI, Gemini. It's up to you. Okay, create a function to perform web searches using Perplexity. That's nice. That's nice. Let's copy this. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is good. So let me actually separate this into 2 cells so it's simpler. So here we define the function where we're using Perplexity, and then we get the response, and then example usage list, an empty list, and then we loop through it. Generated queries, which I guess we should save into here. Okay, so generated queries, we need to save that as a variable. Let's choose what we want to target. This time, again, up to you if you have a business in any industry. That's why I'm leaving this general, so you can apply this to any situation. Or let's say you're trying to sell this to another business, right? You're trying to sell like ready-made cold emails for somebody else. Doesn't matter. You can use this with any company or any business. This will help you write solid personalized cold emails or personalized looms, which is what I recommend of getting your first client. But anyways, more on that in the community. So let's do, I don't know, let's do video editors in Singapore, okay? Enter. We should get the search queries, okay? Saved into this variable, then we rerun this again. Actually, we didn't need to do that, but whatever. We have this variable now, then result, we save a result. Perform web search. This should actually, let's rename this to web search agent. Web search agent. And we obviously have to update this. Boom. Save, and then let's run it. Let's see if this works. Search result that append result. And we should actually probably print this out. So let's search results. Let's see how this looks. Boom. Yeah, this is a long output because this is combining how many? 5? We should probably like check this before running this. Generated queries. So yeah, okay, 3, yeah. 3 different searches. So okay, by the way, just a quick tip. In Google Colab, when you just type the name of the variable, you can see what's stored inside of it, right? So here we call the first agent to generate these 3 queries based on the user input. So yeah, this is gonna do some market research. Maybe we can give it more instructions even, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna turn it into a multi-line string by adding 2 more quotation marks. So it's 3 quotation marks. So we can split it into multiple lines, right? Makes it more organized. All right, so you are an AI assistant that writes effective search queries for market research. Let's do create 5 specific search queries based on the given target industry. Okay, and then this is, here is the industry. Here's the industry / company to perform market research on. And then we do, I don't know, like delimiters like this. This is just good practice prompting because this is a separate token. So it just tells the AI that this is, you know, something else. It's something different. It sees it separately. It's kind of visually like we split it into new lines or whatever. Same idea. But basically here, let's try to be more exact. Let's not leave it up for interpretation, right? Query 1. Let's do query 1. Typical pain. Okay. Pain points, problems faced by this avatar. Okay. Query 2. Let's do biggest companies in this industry. Oops, I ran it. Query 3. We can do like query 3. How companies in this industry get clients or leads. Okay. Query 4. Where to find companies in this industry online. Something like this, right? Give it more instructions so it's not random. And then it should output the 4 queries for each industry. So let's run it again. I'm just going to do the same example. Video editors in Singapore. And let's see what the output is. Okay. Common challenges faced by freelance editors in Singapore. Top, yes. As you can see, these are much better searches, which is gonna greatly improve our web search agent. Okay, let's update this. Real estate agents in, let's do Cape Town, whatever. Whoa, okay, this is bad. I need to somehow make it concise, right? Your assistant that writes concise search queries for market research. Create 4 short, okay, now this should be better. Because I'm specified that it should be short and concise, right? Real estate agents, Cape Town. Hopefully, yeah, these are much shorter, much better. And then we have our web search agent, and then it's gonna loop through all 5, which actually we should probably print it out, right? Should probably just print what query it is. Let's interrupt this, and I'm going to add a simple statement, print query, so that we see, you know, like searching for query. Searching for, and then ... And we'll get like more, yeah, biggest pain points, real estate agents, and then we should see the updates happening in real time, so we know which part of the loop we're in. This is nice. It's nice to see what the agent is doing, right? How real estate agents in Cape Town find new clients, blah, blah, blah. These are all our 4 search queries, and then we should get the search results, just output it as a big block of search results. Yeah, okay. So let me split this again, change my mind. We don't need to have it visible. Okay, so we have the search results. What's next? What is next? I'm just gonna say, I've implemented both. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna copy it. Both. And then show it the agent, and then show it the, because I need to know that the naming. I changed the naming of it. What is the next step? So we've made significant progress. We see how we can get the 4 search queries that are much more specialized because I improved the prompting. Then we get Perplexity to search the web for each of the queries, and then we have search results. Now we probably need the agent to take that input and just summarize it into an like synthesize an effective email from that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, oh, great job. The next step is to create an agent that writes a cold email. Yes. I mean, I don't know why I'm so excited. I just described that earlier, but yeah. The final will be component of our simple AI agent team for cold email writing. Here's what we'll do. Create a function that takes the original target and the search results as input. Use the 405B model. Yes, I do want to use 405B for this. But actually, we can use... Wait. We can use Grok somewhere, right? We can use the Grok for this, probably. Just to have it faster. I'm gonna remind it of the Grok context and show it how to use that. Actually, let's use the Grok API for this last part. Here's the syntax. Again, boom. Send it right here. Update the instructions you just gave me based on this. You're right, let's use Grok API for cold email generation. Here's the updated code. Wait, so okay. Create a function that takes the original target and the search results as input. Use the 405B, return the generated email. So then takes the original target as input. So 2 inputs into our function called email agent. Combine results into a single string. Combine results. Wait a second. Oh yeah, whatever. It takes the search results that we get here. Why are we so up? Yeah, search results and then combines them into a single string. Chat completion, Grok client, blah, blah, blah. And then example usage. Okay, so again, let's split this into 2 different cells. Here we define the agent. So we're using Llama 70B, you know, obviously for faster generation. And then we need to pass these 2 parameters, which are fed using an F string into the prompt. Write a cold email for, boom, based on this search. And then, again, this should probably be delimited, so it's like separated. Whatever. Let's not be too perfectionistic here. Again, this is obviously could be improved so much. I'm just trying to make it simple for you guys so you can see what's possible with Llama 3.1, with Grok, with AI agents. I mean, again, once you add perplexity, the number of agents you can build increases so much because you have real-time access to the web. So all of that you can do just by following these steps. And obviously, feel free to change this to your own use case. So let's see. Cold email. Do I read the prompt? I probably should read the prompt, right? Your AI assistant that writes personalized cold emails based on market research. Create a concise and engaging cold email. Write a cold email for based on this research. Oh, okay, these prompts are very, very basic. Very, could be optimized much more, but let's see if Llama 70B can do it well with these concise prompts. Cold email equals, then we use the cold email agent with target, and there's search results. I mean, target, wait, is that really saved as a target? I don't think so. We haven't, yeah, the user input needs to be saved, and, okay, we, the user input, get user input. Yeah, I didn't do it the best way. So let's take this and let's save this into a variable, right? Well, the good thing is we have it in function, so we can call it many times. So okay, you can say user input equals get user input. So let's change it up. Let's do Sonas in, okay, Sona Studio. Okay, what is it called? Sona Studio in London. Enter. Then we again need to call our agent 01, which is going to be whatever. Probably rename this to query agent. Query agent, whatever. Let's rename that. New code cell, and then we save this. What do we used to save? The generated queries, yeah. Generated queries equals query agent user input. Nice. Let's do that. And then let's also do the same here. Actually, we can check the user input, how it's saved. So yeah, exactly. And then here, the reason I do this, again, it's in Google Colab that just shows you what's in the variable, right? You just need to type the name of the variable in a new line. Beautiful. So these are our queries, and now we need to call the what's it called? Web search agent again. So let me copy this part of code. Use this again. And we are finding the pain points for Sona Studios in London. So beautiful. While this agent is working, let's see. This is gonna take our target, which should not be target. It should be user input, and then search results, which is gonna be correct, and generated cold email, and then cold email. Let's see. Should be fast with the grok. Boom. Here's a concise engagement. Yeah, so this should definitely not be in the cold email. Boost your Sona Studios. Okay, so let me just update this. Again, I'm gonna do this into multi-line string. That way we can have more room to work with. You are an expert cold email writer. Okay. Your task is to write short, concise, and personalized cold emails based on the market research given to you. Okay. And then we go, do not output any other text, only the cold email itself. Okay. And then maybe we can copy actually these 4 areas. Make sure to utilize all 4 areas. All 4 areas of the research. And then we just do pain points. Okay. Be like probably just a inside of parentheses, doesn't matter. This is just a simple prompt engineering. Let's see, how can we improve the cold email, right? Focus on describing what the target avatar will get. Add an appealing guarantee. Keep the email concise and use plain English, so it doesn't use like corporate stuff, right? Write a cold, okay. And then here we just do, we can do, here is the target avatar, boom. And we can do a new line character actually, like this or like this. Here is the, what did I do? Market research. Oh yeah, I pressed end. Okay, this should be much better prompt. Let's see, update. And then obviously we have to update everything below it. So okay, now we're searching. Seems like there is no industry. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, what happened? Enter, enter. Oh yeah, I didn't enter anything. That's a mistake. Let's try again. Let's do. Man, I'm running out of ideas here. Jesus. What type of companies? Construction company in Salt Lake City. I mean, I don't know. Let's do a bigger city. Let's do Austin, Texas, whatever. Okay, Austin, Texas. Then this needs to rerun. Boom, successful. This needs to rerun. And this is going searching biggest pain points. We should probably this should be also much better, you know, because these search results are still kinda. I mean, it's going into Perplexity, so it's good. Perplexity should handle that nicely. Okay, this is the last search results. Then we should trigger the cold email writer, which should be fast, given we're using 70B from Grok. But we're passing in a lot of tokens, that's true. Okay, this is, let's see. And we're still getting this line, that's crazy. Okay. Only output the email itself, no other text. I guess I need to clarify this 100 times. Okay, let's rerun these parts. Let's see. Yeah, this part is working well, but the cold email is still including some extra characters that we do not want, right? All right, let's see. Again, I could spend many hours on just the pre-engineering. Yeah, this is the issue. The Llama is not, yeah, Llama 70B is not as good as the 405B, obviously, so maybe we should actually use 405B for this. 405B will obviously be better at instruction following than 70 billion model. That's always the case when you're using smarter models. So, let's copy this, and we're gonna replace our agent to use the Together API. So let's save this, hopefully no errors. Fingers crossed. Temperature should be kind of low here. Why is 0.7? 0.1. Yeah, let's do 0.1 and save that and rerun. Okay, we don't need to cold email agent. We don't need to rerun this. We don't need to rerun this. We just need to rerun this part. Let's see what happens. It should be a bit slower, hopefully better though. Okay, nice. So obviously this line is our line. This is added from our print statement. We could honestly comment this out. We could also remove this. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that finally it's not adding any garbage, right? It's not adding any sentences. And that's honestly a good lesson. If you want to use smarter models, if you want to use, I mean, smaller models, they will not be as good at instruction following as the bigger models. But they will also be, you know, bigger models are some more expensive. So yeah, beautiful. We don't get any like, here's your email. We get the subject, boost your construction business in Austin with proven solutions. Dear owner's name as a construction company owner in Austin, you're likely no stranger to challenges of labor shortages. Communicate. Oh my god, this is nice. It's facing the biggest issues, so it clearly demonstrates that you understand. Our team has worked with top construction companies in Austin, including. Okay, this is straight up a lie. So it seems like model doesn't mind lying. But what you should say is that, you know, I've studied the top construction companies in Austin, like DPR and White Construction. Blah blah blah. Right? You shouldn't make claims that are not true, obviously. We're confident in our approach that we guarantee 20% increase in profitability. 15%, yes. Specific measurable guarantee within first 6 months. Nice. This is a solid cold email. I mean, obviously it's not perfect. It could be improved a lot. Personally, I would make it more concise. But if you have no cold email experience, this agent will help you tremendously. The last step, as I promised at the start, is to show you how to run these models locally on your computer. To do that, let's go to ollama.com. ollama.com. So just, you know, to make it visible, let me make it clear like this. And in here, you need to download it. So click on download and select your operating system. Currently, I'm on Windows, but I also run it on macOS. Works fine. It doesn't matter which operating system you have. It will work either way. So click on download, and this should take a few minutes. Then what we have to do once you download Llama, this is confusing for a lot of people. It doesn't have a user interface. you simply use it in the terminal. So if you're not a programmer, you're probably afraid of the terminal, right? But there is no reason to do that. There's no reason to be afraid of the terminal. What you simply have to do is, on Windows, you can do like Windows R CMD, right? Or if you have Conda, you can do Anaconda prompt and use Conda. Doesn't matter. Just open up any terminal. And if you are completely clueless, you can just go into Perplexity, any AI tool, and say like, I'm on Windows. How do I open the terminal, right? Again, don't let stuff stop you. Don't let friction stop you. Just use the AI tools to help you out. Method 1, using the start menu. Method 2, use the run dialog box. Click on start menu, type CMD or command prompt, Windows R CMD, using File Explorer. So as you can see, there are 4 different methods in here, how to open the terminal. Simply use the AI tools. Ask the AI tools. Hopefully you can write a simple prompt in plain English. If you can, great job. You can build essentially anything, because there are so many people that will use the slightest friction as an excuse to not do stuff, which is annoying. So let's go back. Once you open a terminal, any terminal will do. Obviously, first you have to download the Llama. The second thing you have to go is to models. On the top right, click on models, click on Llama 3.1, and select the version you want to run. Now, you have to be careful because there are 3 versions, right? 8 billion, which is the smallest one, 70 billion, which is the middle one, and 405. I'm just going to be honest with you, none of you are running 405. Unless you have some crazy setup with like 16, 3090s or like 8 or 4090s, you are not running 405, okay? 70 billion, I'm also going to be honest with you, 99% of you are not going to be run this model. You need a lot of VRAM, or if you're on Mac, it has the shared memory. You need at least $5,000 computer with tons of VRAM to run this model. But most of you should be able to run this 8 billion model locally. So what you need to do is just click on this button and copy this. Again, you don't need to remember anything. Just copy what Llama gives you. I'm going to copy it, go into my terminal, and paste it inside and hit enter. Now, as you can see, it's loading, and this will say pulling manifest. If you're doing this for the first time, it will start saying pulling manifest and then downloading the model. Here you can see the size of the model in gigabytes. This is 4.7, so this should take like 5-10 minutes to download for the first time. It will say pulling manifest and then downloading progress. Because if you're running it for the first time, you have not downloaded the model yet. But once you download it, which is what I already did, you'll see this, send a message. And you don't have to download it ever again. So this is only for the first time. And then you can just use it anytime. So you can say like, teach me about Python. Teach me about Python, answer in short, whatever. Here are some key points to get you started. As you can see, this is much faster because this is the smaller version, 8 billion, right? And right now I'm on Windows, so here I have like, 32 gigs, 64 gigs, I don't know. Whatever, I can run this pretty comfortably on a 3070 Ti, 8 billion model. So on my MacBook, I can run a 7TV, but that's because I have 128 gigs of RAM. So just go with the 8 billion model. If you have a really good computer, you can try 70B. And as you can see, we're using Llama right here. And this is the Llama 3.1 running on my machine. And if I pull up Task Manager, you can see how it taxes my computer, right? So if we go into performance and especially GPU, we can see that it's being, oh, actually OBS I'm recording, so the GPU is already being blasted. But let's say another message, write a long explanation of, let's say, something advanced, like, let's do the string theory in physics. Okay, hit enter, and now the model is generating. Let's see how the GPU is being blasted even more. Boom, 95%. And obviously, if I wasn't recording, I could probably get even faster responses. But yeah, that's the downside. So as you can see, this is the command prompt. It's using some RAM, but mostly GPU. And as you can see, when it finishes generating, the 3D part drops significantly. So yeah, this is how to run Llama 3.1 locally, the 8 billion version. If you have a good computer, try the 70 billion version. But you need the 405B to host it somewhere. Obviously, as we saw earlier, Meta has plenty of options on all the cloud providers to host it, or you can just use Together AI as we did in our agent. Now, if you want to have access to all of my agents and code, prompts, everything I've built in the past, as well as all the stuff I will build in the future, then make sure to join the community. Obviously, you'll get access to the AI Agents workshop, which will teach you everything you need to know to build AI agents. And in the next 4 days, we're releasing the Make Money with AI Agents training, which is going to teach you how to make your first $1,000 with AI. And on top of that, at month 2, you get a one-on-one call with me. That's right, you get all of this just by joining a community. So make sure to do it before the end of the month, because after we release the Make Money with AI training, the price is going to double. So join now, the link is in the description. Thank you for watching.